In 1972, a researcher by the name of Walter Mischel published what became known as the Marshmallow Experiment. The experiment, conducted in the 1960s, took a host of 4 and 5-year-olds and placed a marshmallow in front of them while they were sitting at a desk. The researcher told them that if they would eat the marshmallow, they would eat the marshmallow and enjoy it. However, if they did not eat the marshmallow, at the end of 15 minutes, they would receive a second marshmallow. Now, if you look on YouTube, you'll be able to see many different videos of this, and it's quite interesting to see some of the kids and how they interacted with this marshmallow. Some of them just went over to the corner of the room, turned to the side to the wall, and sat there for the next 15 minutes. Others, though, struggled more intensely, and they would sniff the marshmallow, they would lick the marshmallow. Some of them started gnawing at it a little bit, and they couldn't help themselves. Now, what is the point of the study? The point of the study is that over the next 40 years, they saw that the children that were able to show delayed gratification and did not eat the marshmallow ended up having lower levels of substance abuse, lower likelihoods of obesity, better SAT scores, better social skills as reported by their parents, etc. And so, in contrast to this, I'd like to note a story that Rabbi Biderman mentioned in this week's parsha of Parsha Shlach. He notes of time of the founding of the state of Israel when there was a difficulty in severe economic problems. People didn't have any food. There were rations at this period of time. And he talks about a certain child who was in Talmud Torah, and every single Rosh Chodesh they would receive a cookie or a piece of cake. And this child decided that this month he was going to bring home his piece of cake to his father and give him a present. And so he got the piece of cake in the beginning of the day. And at the first, he wrapped it up in his napkin. He put it in his bag. And then at the end of at the first recess, he decided, let me go look at that. I got to look at that piece of cake. And he looked at the piece of cake and he took just a tiny little bit because he wanted to eat the piece of cake. And he wrapped it back up and put it away. Second recess came and he started nibbling on the other side. By the end of the day, he had nibbled around the entire piece of cake, but he still had some left. And so he comes home and he shows his father, and his father is very excited. He's got a present. And he finally opens up the napkin and he sees that the son had nibbled around the entire piece of cake, and he starts crying. And the reason why he cried is because he saw how difficult it was for his son to abstain from eating the piece of cake, and he understood that the child had tried so hard to give it to him that this made him even more happy, and he was much more appreciative of that which his son gave to him. So this is what we are as children of Hashem. Even if we experience difficulties and we have trouble, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets more joy out of us being able to deal with our struggles and still forge forward than someone who has an easy time. There's an interesting pasuk in the middle of Parshas Vayera. It says, Hu Aaron Moshe. And Rashi explains there, Hu Aaron Moshe, just like sometimes it says Moshe, then Aaron in the Torah. This time it says Aaron and Moshe. Why is that? Says Rashi, Lo Marsha Shkulan Hein, to tell you that they are equal in stature. When Moshe Feinstein asks, what do you mean they're equal in stature? Moshe Rabbeinu was the Rabban Shel Yisrael. He was Adon Nevi'im. How could he be considered equal to his brother Aaron? Even though Aaron was great, he wasn't equal. So he answers 2 answers. The second answer is what's relevant for this topic, and that is that, yes, it is true that Moshe Rabbeinu had a greater potential than Aaron, his brother, and he reached greater heights objectively. However, HaKadosh Baruch Hu really cares about each individual's potential, and even though Aaron's potential did not reach that of Moshe's, he was able to fulfill his own potential, and on a subjective basis, which is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at all of us, and when he measures our actions, they were considered shkulin. So let's remember